Hi everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Fred Gallagher and I'm Goodwill's Editor-in-Chief. If you see the name John Sidney Ty in the front of one of our volumes as the author, well, that's me too. My son's name is John. I have a daughter, Sydney, and another daughter, Helen Ty, a family name. So my pen name is the names of my children. And I was speaking recently to a representative and his wife who were visiting the home office. And I was telling them that we don't usually make wholesale changes in our books, but rather they kind of evolve. We come to understand that you guys in the field are hearing about certain topics, like bullying, for instance. And then we end up making some sometimes subtle changes that reflect a concern with that particular topic. And over the years, of course, the volumes have changed tremendously, but a little at a time. I'm very pleased with some small, but I think very meaningful changes we've just incorporated in both my favorite book and The Way to Go. So I wanted to tell you about them. In my favorite book, we've moved the parent letter to the very front of the book, and I think that's the best place for it as it is read by the family and as you present the volume to the prospect to emphasize that this is a family program and that those parents will see the sponsor names in the front of the book. The major change this time is the creation of a new section about learning to read. It combines the importance of reading with the efficacy of music for the young child. It's called Words Can Be Beautiful, and it includes an introductory spread with verse on each page, a following page with an actual musical score on it. And by the way, this was composed by an award-winning composer and former teacher at Juilliard. And then a fourth page that would be a matching game with the names of musical instruments on one side of the page and actual spot illustrations of these instruments on the other. This game will be replicated also on our myfavoritebookland.com webpage with actual musical sounds and children singing the Words Can Be Beautiful song. There are other very small changes like a tightening up of the verse on bullying, now called A Better Way. We have 3 spreads where we show the town scenes with the number of business and civic buildings in the background. You'll notice on the 3rd spread, a steeple has been added. We've updated the images of technology, that is for cell phones, computers, and other devices. In the section called Family, one small change in copy can now recognize a child in a blended family. Some families combine to make one that's new. They spread their love. That's what they do. We also emphasize the role of a grandparent once again in this section. And on the page with a heart, a small illustration and copy change creates one of my proudest pages. Of pregnant mothers who are tested and found to have a child with Down syndrome, 90% abort that child. Needless to say, I was shocked to learn this and have now incorporated a Down syndrome child on this page with the copy, "Each one of us is special in our own very way, like my brother whom I play with every day. We all have our gifts, and my brother too. Our families see our gifts in all that we do." Our family guide is now facing pages to make it easier for the parents to look at all the sections together. These are the main changes in my favorite book, and though small, they are, in my opinion, meaningful and reflective of the mission of our company, and I hope very easy to present to the type of folks who sponsor our programs. We've also made some changes to Way to Go for this year. These include enhancements to the front and back cover artwork, as well as to the title page. In Our Great Town, just for a change, the real estate salesman is now a kind of whimsical, friendly-looking male, whereas the police officer pictured with the firefighter is now a female. And our flag, which had not been turned properly for presentation, has now been corrected. Various updates to spot illustrations have also been accomplished, such as a larger portrayal of the page of Uncle Cap telling his story in the section Uncle Cap Lives On. I might mention here that a child's grief is something the counseling field is now looking at closely, and I consider this an important piece For this reason, and because our culture is losing an all-important attachment to intergenerational relationships. We have also emphasized further the need for safety on the internet and created a new illustration showing the various devices our children are involved with, along with good information on the dangers of certain kinds of technology. You will also see a brand new story specifically on bullying, with attendant rearrangements and other materials that make sense to the overall flow of the book. Take a good look at the new story for a twist that represents an all too common scenario in a world where bullies and those bullied go to school together. We've tightened up some of the other pages to make the copy of all the sections flow better. Your back cover now includes the depiction of friendship rules, where the golden rule is espoused once again. Again, small but pointed changes that continue to make our character program stronger and more meaningful to teachers and counselors, parents and sponsors, and of course, the kids themselves. I hope you enjoy these revisions and that they will further contribute to the overall quality of your program. Thank you and God bless. In the coming days, I'm sure David will be speaking with you about ways to highlight these changes and to let sponsors know that we are committed to keeping our volumes fresh and updated, easy to understand to prospects, and always reflective of the mission of the Ambassador Company. Thank you again.